Does YouTube stop people from saying suicide or something? What is there some sort of filter on what can go live? Because this motherfucker be stopping at the most inappropriate times. Freezing. That's all I got, y'all. There's nobody to talk to. I have to talk to myself on the YouTube live. According to Zooms, wasn't nobody looking at him. Tim Ferriss, please help me. I just need people to talk to. I'm bankrupt, and nobody will talk to me about how to handle this. I know how to stop childhood obesity. Nobody will talk to me about this. I know how to talk about human health overall. Nobody will talk to me about anything. Yes, forget about post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm encountering current traumatization with every human I talk to. Because nobody taught me to be emotional. I'd had to type out, again, the part that got me going was Tim, not wanting to tell his story until his parents died. And them clearly being able to handle this. I don't have a blood relative who's ever called me except for my mom. My dad has not called me since 2007. I don't know if he's alive or dead. I'm okay with that. Because that relationship was always about me being the one caring for him. As I've been a hermit for the past decade, I did not have the energy to care for somebody who didn't care for me when I was an infant. Now, I don't think he meant to do anything. None of them did. But that old community of origin, them white people, I was not touched the first 17 years of my life. No wonder my body don't work. No wonder I had to insulate. Give the world a reason to explain it. In no way, shape, or form is the absence of touch I don't know what to say. There's no comparison. At every developmental stage, when I required parenting support, I was fed. I was given money. In so many respects, a white picket fence childhood. Middle class upbringing. And I can be grateful that I did not receive harm. But I was fucking responsible for that. I was the one who had to out-energize everyone, who was, again, most people who become that fat are real victims. both as the initiating event and as the continuation of the event. It replays itself and it replays itself. Constantly telling individuals just to learn to be different. When every single one of us is doing the absolute best we possibly can. Absolute best we possibly can. It's not the individual's fault, y'all. What is the fault is that those of us who are adults, we got to right the fuck now stop allowing another adult to harm a child. We've allowed it to happen. They've allowed it to happen. It's not okay. We must stop these kids from being traumatized. If we raise one generation without trauma, they'll build the human civilization everyone deserves. We'll start having the ability to have clean air and water for every human. Do you understand? 50% of us, our common species, will be without. We'll be in water-stressed regions by 2025. That's what the WHO says, water-stressed regions. Hundred percent of us are suffering the effects of global warming. Toxic chemical loads in the air we breathe. Why I became a hermit, yeah, it replicated the pattern of my childhood isolation. But physiologically, I'm certain that my ability to not go crazy was increased by my childhood. But I am physiologically suffering from the effects of excess carbon in my near-in atmosphere that went supernova when I was exposed to mold, which is probably also a cyclical pattern. It's very likely an active mold infestation of some sort in my childhood home. Basement was built into the side, and there was always water in the basement. The house was built when I was a child, a few years before. There's probably a good idea that perhaps not enough to affect an adult, but an infant, and that it would have been remediated within the 5.5 years until my younger brother showed up. The fact that I never have felt, and I'm only started to come to terms with being able to say, I don't really know that I love my parents. So I really wasn't taught love. Could I not feel it? Not when I wasn't touched. Now, not in the cold sense, not in the that it was seen sense. This was like the water I lived in. The personality of independence and intelligence. It's me. My brain is philosophical. But yet what creates that is somebody who is under immense environmental stress. Immense environmental stress. You become highly analytical, very creative, then operating a very large body, then being 2% of the global population. I didn't see another me until 2012. And it was a portrait in the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. A guy called Gerard Bicker. Absolutely identical. 1642, evolution created an identical human to me. 333 pounds of morbid obesity with red hair. And I cannot get anyone to talk to me to help save my life so that I can perform and talk this through and talk about the philosophical hypothesis of bioelectricity, which is undoubtedly philosophically true, valid. Tim Ferriss, please help. Please help me find some people to listen to me. That's all I'm asking. Just a regular old annual salary's worth of investment to get some freelancers, to get this all going. Let me do my thing, tell my story, help the people who suffered neglect. It's unseen and it's unprocessed. And that kind of unseen, unprocessed stuff is what causes people to hurt children and have no idea why they do it. Let's really get all this out in the open over the next few years. We're all going to be locked in. There's not any there out there to go to if we don't start thinking in life-centric ways. Hashtag well-being philosophy. You got some angel investment in you. Let's make the hashtag Wellbeing Philosophy Institute to make clear, anti-racist, life-centric thinking a necessary global public good. Thank you, Tim. Looking forward to hearing from you.